The story begins in a kingdom called Wingravia, where a young crown princess named Violet resides. One day, Violet is asked to attend a Christmas concert as a representative of the royal family, as the queen is occupied with other duties. Despite being a grown woman, Violet still behaves rather spoiled, often prioritizing her own desires over the needs of others. Coincidentally, that same day, Violet had planned to bake cookies with her mother. Unfortunately, the queen cancels their plans, explaining that she had just returned from an important meeting. When Princess Violet enters her mother's study, she is immediately drawn to the queen's crown and decides to try it on. Moments later, her mother, Queen Erica, enters the room. The queen has just received reports that Violet has been neglecting her responsibilities. Since the passing of her husband a year ago, Queen Erica has taken on the role of leading the kingdom and has been urging Violet to prepare herself as the future heir. However, Violet's immature behavior has left the queen questioning whether her daughter is truly fit to rule. At that moment, Queen Erica confronts Violet, asking her what she believes her purpose as a noble is, given her continued selfishness and lack of responsibility. The next morning, the royal family holds a traditional event to select the Christmas tree that will be displayed in the town square. However, during the event, Princess Violet makes a grave mistake. She accidentally releases the royal goat, which ends up choosing a ridiculously small tree. This incident infuriates Queen Erica, who sees it as yet another example of Violet's inability to handle even the simplest tasks. The queen becomes increasingly convinced that her daughter is unfit to rule and begins considering the possibility of finding a successor outside the royal bloodline. During a discussion about Violet's future, her uncle, Felix, proposes an idea to help reform his niece's behavior. Having once attended a military academy in America, Felix suggests sending Violet there in the hopes that the experience will teach her discipline and responsibility. Unexpectedly, Queen Erica agrees to the plan, and Violet reluctantly informs her fiancé, Prince Scott, that she will be leaving for the academy for 10 days. Despite this, Prince Scott expresses confidence that Violet will handle the training with ease and even gives her a phone so they can communicate privately, free from the prying eyes of the royal operators. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, we are introduced to a man named Ryan, who works at a supermarket. Years ago, Ryan was a trainer at a military academy, but after a traumatic incident, he decided to step away from military life. While at work, Ryan is approached by a colonel named Yates, who asks him to return to the academy as a trainer for a group of undisciplined children from wealthy families. Although Yates is reluctant to disrupt Ryan's life, he believes Ryan is the only one capable of handling the task, given his exceptional talent as a young trainer. The following day, Ryan, accompanied by a military chef named Squibby, welcomes the new trainees to the academy. As Colonel Yates had explained, these trainees are the children of wealthy families who lack discipline and need to be molded into future leaders. Once everyone has gathered, Ryan instructs them to address him as captain and informs them that he will be their trainer for the next 10 days. He introduces Squibby as the academy's chef and outlines the 3 core areas of their training: discipline, leadership, and physical fitness. As the training begins, Ryan strictly prohibits the participants from using smartphones or any similar devices. Initially, Violet considers hiding her phone, but to her dismay, all personal belongings must be left in the storage area. The next morning, Ryan wakes everyone up early for a run around the academy grounds, followed by a communal breakfast. During the meal, Ryan lays out the rules of the program, but Violet can't help but feel annoyed by his harsh tone, especially after being abruptly roused from sleep. After breakfast, Ryan introduces the first lesson: leadership. This topic is crucial, as these young individuals are destined to become leaders who must take responsibility for their decisions. Alongside the theoretical lessons, Ryan and Squibby assign the group a practical task: baking cookies to deliver to children at a local hospital. This activity is designed to teach teamwork, but the participants can only use raw ingredients provided by Squibby, forcing them to start from scratch. While the trainees work on their baking, Ryan and Squibby reminisce about their past at the academy. Ryan shares a story about a talented former student named Benji, whom he considered like a brother. The two had even built a bench together, which still stands on the academy grounds. As they chat, the sound of a fire alarm suddenly interrupts them. Rushing to the kitchen, they discover that the trainees, unable to operate the oven properly, have caused a minor disaster. To make matters worse, the group had used pre-made dough prepared by Squibby, which only adds to Ryan's frustration. He scolds them, accusing them of failing to work as a team. Following the baking chaos, Ryan leads the group to an obstacle course. The trainees struggle immensely, as most have never attempted such physically demanding tasks. When they reach the final challenge, a rope climb, where Ryan immediately demonstrates the technique and calls on Violet to give it a try. However, she fails, sparking a heated argument between her and Ryan. At that moment, Violet accuses him of treating them like soldiers preparing for war, while Ryan insists that discipline and resilience are essential for leadership. Later, Squibby approaches Ryan to discuss Violet's complaints. She gently reminds him that this training is taking place during the Christmas season and suggests that a softer approach might be more effective in fostering both joy and personal growth among the participants. The next morning, Ryan assigns the group another service task, delivering Christmas trees to a nearby church. Though he initially speaks in his usual stern tone, Squibby subtly signals him to soften his demeanor, which he reluctantly does. After breakfast, Ryan shows the trainees the trees they'll be transporting. The group immediately protests, as the church is quite far away. However, Violet quickly devises a clever plan. She and two other trainees, Bobby and Noel, sneak into the storage area to retrieve their phones and arrange for a delivery service. Soon, two delivery workers arrive, and the trainees pretend to be exhausted from carrying the trees themselves once they reach the church. As the trainees gather their gloves, Ryan suddenly grows suspicious. The gloves are spotless, as if they haven't been used at all. His suspicion deepens, and he threatens to fail the entire group unless someone comes clean. Reluctantly, Princess Violet steps forward and admits her mistake, confessing that she orchestrated the delivery service to avoid the hard work. Feeling defeated, she announces her decision to leave the academy. Before Violet departs, Ryan allows her to call Queen Erica to explain her early withdrawal. During the call, the queen is furious, disappointed that her daughter is giving up so easily. She sternly tells Violet to return home immediately, criticizing her for failing to embrace her role as a noble and for making no effort to prove herself as a worthy successor. As Violet prepares to leave for the airport, she notices an elderly mute man named Jimmy struggling with a car stuck in the snow. Inspired, Violet comes up with a clever solution to help him. Unbeknownst to her, Ryan, who had intended to drive her to the airport, witnesses the entire scene. He's impressed by Violet's quick thinking and compassion, especially when he realizes she knows sign language. Ryan then tells Violet that her actions demonstrate true leadership qualities. His words strike a chord with her, and she decides to stay and continue the training. The next morning, while searching for pine cones or flowers, Violet spots Ryan sitting alone on a bench. Curious, she approaches him, and he opens up about his past. He shares the story of how he built the bench with a former student named Benji, whom he considered like a brother. The conversation turns reflective as Violet recalls her own family, especially her father, who passed away a year ago. The shared moment brings them closer, and Violet begins to see a softer, more caring side of Ryan. That evening, Violet receives a message from her fiancé, Prince Scott, who has unexpectedly arrived at the academy. Sneaking out through the kitchen door, Violet meets him, only to find that he wants her to run away with him for a holiday getaway. With only a few days left before graduation, Violet firmly declines, explaining that she needs to complete the training to prove her commitment to becoming queen. Realizing that Prince Scott doesn't respect her efforts or her mother's wishes, Violet makes the difficult decision to end their relationship. As she tries to return to her room, Violet discovers that the kitchen door has automatically locked behind her. Desperate, she climbs up a pipe and accidentally enters Ryan's room through his window. Unaware that Ryan is in the middle of a video call with his mother, Violet attempts to crawl out unnoticed. However, Ryan's mother catches a glimpse of her and jumps to the conclusion that Ryan is secretly dating someone. Flustered, Ryan explains that Violet is one of his trainees, but to avoid further misunderstanding, he quickly ends the call. After the incident, Ryan questions Princess Violet about how she ended up climbing through his window. Violet lies, claiming she wanted to stargaze but got locked out of the kitchen when she tried to return to her room. During their conversation, Ryan opens up about his past, revealing that he once had a falling out with Benji, his former student and close friend. Ryan had tried to stop Benji from going to war, but Benji insisted and tragically lost his life. The guilt and regret over Benji's death led Ryan to step away from military life. The next morning, as everyone gathers for breakfast, Squibby notices muddy footprints in the kitchen and demands to know who's responsible. Meanwhile, Ryan announces an invitation to a party hosted by Jimmy, the elderly veteran Violet had helped earlier. At the veteran's home, Ryan introduces the group to Lerna, Jimmy's assistant. Violet reunites with Jimmy, and to liven up the party, Ryan and the trainees perform Christmas carols for the veterans. The following day, the trainees return to the obstacle course to demonstrate how far they've come in their discipline and teamwork. The session concludes with a triumphant moment as Violet successfully climbs the rope and rings the bell, a testament to her hard work over the past 10 days. That evening, Violet notices Noelle looking sad. At that moment, Noelle confesses that she wishes her father could attend the graduation ceremony. Moved by her friend's sadness, Violet lends Noelle her phone and encourages her to invite her father. After Noelle finishes her call, she and Violet accidentally break the bench Ryan had built with Benji. At that moment, Ryan appears and discovers the damaged bench, as well as Noelle holding the phone. Realizing they've been caught, Violet confesses to everything. Her secret meeting with Prince Scott, the delivery service scheme, and how she got locked out of the kitchen. Ryan is deeply disappointed and, due to the numerous rule violations, has no choice but to revoke Violet's graduation. Later, Queen Erica arrives to attend Violet's graduation, only to learn that her daughter has been disqualified. Violet tries to explain that she's finally found her purpose as a noble, but the queen dismisses her words, believing Violet is merely making excuses. As Violet wanders outside, she encounters Lerna, who reveals that the veterans' Christmas celebration has been canceled due to kitchen issues. Determined to help, Violet rallies her friends to cook for the veterans. However, when Ryan discovers them, Noelle urges him to talk to Violet. Following Noelle's advice, Ryan finds Violet repairing the broken bench with Jimmy's help. Ryan apologizes for acting hastily and acknowledges her good intentions in helping Noelle contact her father. Grateful for her efforts, Ryan allows Violet to invite the veterans to celebrate Christmas with them at the academy. As they prepare the meal, Queen Erica unexpectedly arrives, having received a call from Squibby about Violet's acts of kindness. That evening, the group holds a combined Christmas party and graduation ceremony. During the event, Ryan thanks Violet for her initiative and selflessness, announcing that she has earned her graduation after all. After dinner, Ryan shares that Queen Erica has offered him a position as a trainer in the kingdom of Wingravia. In a heartfelt moment, Violet confesses her feelings for Ryan, and he admits he feels the same way. They share a kiss, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. The end. Moral lesson from the story: if you let a royal goat pick your Christmas tree, don't be surprised when it's smaller than your ego. And remember, hiding your phone in a military academy is like trying to hide a crown on a princess. It's only a matter of time before someone finds out.